Well, I'm optimistic about it, and I'm optimistic because I think technology will be able to. We're smart enough to come up with technologies that can clean up some of our own messes. I'm optimistic because I think that we're finally becoming smart about clean energy, and I think we're finally becoming smart about the energy densities required to run the kinds of civilization that we have. Like we literally can't turn the clock back to where everyone's living in a cave. Like that's just not going to happen. So and our reliance on fossil fuels is going to come to an end, I think, and it's going to come to an end properly. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with fossil fuels. I'm saying that they're a requirement given the way that we've chosen to live, but there's ways to make the use of those fuels very, very efficient and clean. And I think the same thing is going to happen across the board on a much bigger scale in a very short order, mostly because the requirements, energy requirements for AI are 10 times that of what normal computing is. So we need energy sources we don't have, and that's going to move us away from this hand waving about solar and wind, because there just isn't enough energy density in those platforms to run anything. And AI, our use of technology is not going away; it's going up exponentially. Our energy requirements are going exponentially. We're just going to have to come up with a way to meet those. And there's certainly very good ways to do that. There are, for example, thorium salt reactors the size of a
Wait,
fridge.
wait, wait. What are those?
A,
So,
a thorium salt reactor, which is basically a form of nuclear reactor that can't run away. It runs on a fuel that's much less hazardous than purified or highly refined uranium. And the end result of it is basically nothing. It's basically almost a piece of lead. There's as much leftover radiation after a thorium reactor is run out as there is in coal, because coal itself is radioactive. But you can get a reactor the size of a fridge, like a large fridge, buried in the ground. It'll run for 25 years, and it will run, say, for example, all of Victoria, British Columbia, which is something like 500,000. Well, I shouldn't say 500,000 people, but it'll run a town of 50,000 people. And then you dig this thing up, you basically have nothing more hazardous than a lump of coal, which is about the same sort of levels of radioactivity. So
how
there's
far
there's
away?
there's a race, like there's a full-blown race to make those things commercially available. There are
Wow.
companies that, so we're on the right path. We're on the
Yeah.
right path.